All right, what's going on, guys? It's Jared Enderton with Invictus Weightlifting. This is athlete Sarah Lugman who's going to help out today. Today we're going to go over the 3 most common mistakes that I see in the snatch. Okay, of course there's a lot of mistakes that you might see in the snatch. It's a very fast, very dynamic, explosive movement. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And if you've been weightlifting long enough, you're probably going to see every error, and you're probably going to do every error. But we're going to talk about 3 of the most common ones that I see and kind of what are some fixes to help maintain good positions in the snatch. Okay, so the first one that we're going to see is where the butt rises too soon, or the butt outruns the shoulders. Okay, so she's going to demo one. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you see it. You're going to notice the butt comes up right away. Good, and relax. And it ends up shifting the weight very far forward very early, right? So even if your extension is wrong at that point, that's the effect. Where the cause is that the hips are coming up too soon, that's throwing everything else off. So what's the fix, right? How do we work on it? The big thing that I coach, or that we like to talk about, is I like to think of it as a first push, not a first pull, right? A first pull, a lot of people will think of hamstrings, butt, low back, that posterior chain. But when you think of first push, you think more about quads, right? You think about pushing more like a squat, which is going to allow you to maintain this position much better rather than your chest coming down to the ground. So the very first fix is the cue, right? The proper cue. And I'll talk about push off the ground instead of pull. Okay, so let's see one of those, where she's thinking about pushing through her quads, and her back angle is going to stay pretty similar throughout as her knees go back to the knee. Beautiful, beautiful, okay? And if that's still not fixing it, if you're still having a lot of issues where that butt's still coming up way too soon, right? And you just can't figure it out on how, how to get that athlete, you're telling them to push and they're not pushing. What I tell people to do, or what an exercise that we'll do that'll help correct it, one of 2. We'll either do a snatch liftoff. Okay, we'll do one of those. Boom. And she's going to pause, right? Pause at the knee and then relax. So if she's out of position at the knee, she has an opportunity to fix it. So even if her hips came up too soon, we're able to correct that position. If you feel like you're too far forward, right, then you can shift that weight back into your heel and correct that position. Because sometimes it's not an error of not knowing. Sometimes it's an error of not being strong enough to hold that position. Okay, so there's some corrective exercises. We could pause right off the ground, or a popular one that we'll do is we'll pause right at the knee, because that's the hardest position to hold, and that's when that bar is usually the farthest away. Okay, so cueing correctly and also some positional work, pausing at the knee, can help you push off the ground and keep that chest up rather than pull. Okay, now the second a second error that I'll see a lot in the snatch is people trying to start their extension too soon, right? This is where the second they get over their knee, they're trying to put the bar overhead, okay? So from there, they start pulling back right away, and usually they end up jumping backwards because they're pulling all their weight back so soon, okay? And you'll see it, and then instantly coming back. And then good, one more time, just lower, good. And watch right at the knee, right there. You see how she starts shifting back right away, and relax. And the reason that's an issue is because she's not getting any stretch reflex out of her posterior chain, right? If you're going straight from the knee right there and then shifting right here, you're not getting a stretch reflex, and you're not using your leverage over top the bar to give you that power in your finish, right? So you're going to get a little bit of a jump, but you're not going to get all of your power. Okay, so what we want to teach, or what we'll teach a lot, is a halting snatch deadlift. Okay, so this is one thing we'll do to enforce staying over the bar a little bit longer and getting comfortable in that position. And notice this time how long her shoulders, beautiful, and pause, are still over the bar. Good, and relax. And that's just building some comfort over top the bar and the hamstrings and really getting a good stretch. Okay, so sometimes it's a comfort thing and a body awareness thing that you don't have to shift under so soon to get all of the power, and you're actually you feel like you're giving it more, but you're actually giving it less, right? And then another one we'll do is we'll do a lot of high hang snatches. It's one of my least favorite exercises to do, but my favorite to program, right? Because it builds so much good position at the finishing of the lift, where she'll be here and she's just going to go to good, and then over the bar to mid thigh, right there. Because that's the last position we're actively really far over the bar, and relax. And then of course we would do a hang snatch from that position, right? So there's really there's not a bunch of different exercises you could do, but the biggest thing is drive over a little bit longer than what feels comfortable, and then you're probably doing it right. When it feels like it's too late to extend, that's when you extend. Okay, so staying over that bar, halting snatch deadlift and a hang snatch, a high hang snatch, or even some high block work might be a good exercise for you to do to help correct shifting forward too soon. So the third thing we're going to look at, or the third mistake, is when people shift forward too soon in their finish, right? And they miss their under phase. And you're going to see what I'm talking about here. From that mid-thigh position, she's going to bring her hips straight out to the bar. Okay, good. So we'll come just to mid-thigh, right here. Oh, come down just a little bit, mid-thigh. And now watch her hips are just going to go straight to the bar, right? And you saw her hips just come forward, straight forward to the bar. And relax. Good. So from that position, you notice there, she just went like this, and she used all of her hip extension just to meet the bar. Right? So all of her hip extension was just to meet the bar, but none of her hip extension went into actually producing power into the bar. Right? So the position that we'll like to reinforce and that we want people to get in is from that high hang position, we like them to have an under phase. So kind of this nice power position, because if you're bringing your hips straight to the bar, you're missing that position. So let's go ahead and demo that. Good, so let's come to mid-thigh again. And then notice right away, watch her hips, let's hit that power position, they go under, right? So now her heels are still down, her hips are down, the bar is right in her hips, and she's in this nice vertical torso position. So now when her hips, knees, and ankles extend, it all goes into the barbell rather than your hips coming forward too soon. And relax, good. So from that position, right, just from that hip position, that's what we call a hip snatch. We'll do a lot of those to help remedy if people are coming forward too far in the snatch too soon, because it helps build comfort in that position and strengthen that position to where you know that's the only position that I extend from, is once I'm in this power position as opposed to this power position. So literally we'll just spend a ton of time sitting down in the hip snatch, reinforcing that power position, because that's really the only way to learn it, is to start training from that position rather than just trying to speed through it all the time.